So it's time for action. In this video, let us first start with discussing the components of the recipe. Okay. All is best, Eric Killmonger, Marvel Legends. So the belt. Apex Legends, the female medic. So yeah, if you're familiar with this figure, then I've been harvesting parts from this action figure. So something that you could get at your local Ross a few months back. Next item, Action Force Valaverse Recon Gear Pack. So we modified the Recon Gear Pack, but we did not use the rifle nor the pistol or the helmet on this action figure. Just 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Okay, so last item is going to be Action Force Valaverse Blowback. So I was debating last week whether I should get the new action figure releases by Vala, but I decided instead to once again purchase another blowback action figure set. And as for tools used for this project, just very simple, just 2 items. So Loctite, Super Glue, Professional Liquid, and X-Acto knife, and of course X-Acto blades. And the recipe won't be complete if we don't throw in a couple of G.I. Joe Classified Series parts and accessories. So this time, let's go to the action figure build. Okay, so let us first take a look at a stock Action Force Valaverse Recon Gear Pack. So this is going to be my custom breaker action figure or Kitbash breaker action figure. Okay, so this breaker has a Recon Gear Pack, the stock version. So I'm not using any battle belt on this action figure. Okay, so we have these 2 sections, the mag caddies and the accessory caddies, or whatever these packets would hold. Okay, easily taken off, and the backing of the mag pouches and those caddies or accessory caddies would have those pegs that's going to connect to the chest rig platform. Now with an X-Acto knife, just guard them off and glue them back on top of the chest rig. So you're going to have a even surface to glue on additional accessories, which I'm going to show off right now. Okay, so this is going to be the current chest rig for this figure. So let's call this figure Fast Attack Blowback. Okay, so those magazine caddies for the rifle and the pistol would come from Eric Killmonger. Okay, so after cutting off the belt sections, the backing of course would have a section of the belt that is quite thick, so it won't really sit flush on the surface of the chest rig. So you have to carve it off with an X-Acto knife before gluing it on top. Okay, now this is going to be quite tricky. The next thing, so that is still the original holster for the 1911 pistol, but it's a left-hand draw. So what I did was to carve it out from this section together with the suppressor holder. Yep, so there you go. So suppressor holder and holster for the 1911 pistol. Okay, now take a look at the configuration of the pistol holster against this new holster. So converted this to a right hand draw. Of course, you have to use your X-Acto knife. There you go. So for reference, so you just have to cut off this section, reserve it, and then carve off a trigger well on this side to house a new pistol. Of course, I would choose another pistol, one that complements the battle dress uniform or the camo pattern on the BDU. Okay, so green pistol for the green uniform, color match. Okay, so afterwards you just have to reconnect the sections that you cut off with simple super glue. Okay, and hit the new pistol holster a little bit with a hair dryer, and you could shove the pistol back in so it's going to form or reshape. Okay, so now, yep, that's going to be the suppressor holder that's supposed to be on that side. Okay, so what I did was to make it into a knife holder. Okay, that the knife is still drawable, as you could see, and with whatever excess plastic that came off the belt, I just shoved little pieces in to fill up the spaces. So this is going to sit nice and flush on that holder. It's not going to fall off. And the holder for the flashbangs 3, they're supposed to be a thigh mounted accessory, but I cut off the mounts and the straps and I glued it on top of the battle belt, wherein we vacated these sections with these two items. Okay, so actually these items I could still use with another build, so with the 1911 pistol and the mag holder. Okay, go. So before we go to the head unit, okay, so for the back, now the backpack that comes from this action figure. Yeah, from that backpack. Okay, so we just drilled after taking it off from this action figure, we just drilled a hole on the back side of the backpack, placed a peg on that with whatever material that we had on board, nothing specific, as long as it's a plastic piece that's going to fit or snugly fit the whole section for the backpack of the action figure. So it's going to be that very simple. Okay. Now, the battle belt that comes with the recon gear pack, this section would be vacant. Actually, this. So what I did was to, since I took these packets off from that vest, so with an X-Acto knife, we just harvested this section and glued it to the side of the belt. Okay, now we still have two sections that are available, and you could make them as counterweights for the quad nodes. Of course, if you want to operate longer, the batteries that are on these quad nodes won't really last very long without additional power. So, yep, counterweights at the same time, source of power for your quad nodes. Okay. So we also modified the Action Force Valaverse quad nodes because the stem for the mount actually is way too long. So we had to cut it off and reglue. So it's going to shorten and it's going to nice sit and flush on top of the head, or just at eye level, I mean. Okay, so since I didn't want to use the Action Force Valaverse ear protectors or peltors because they're just way too bulky, so I just used these pieces, extra pieces that I have, and attached a mic onto it. So I cut off one of the mics from the peltors and glued it on the backside of these pieces. So they act also as a new piece of peltors, a modern one, a sleeker one. There you go. So nice and simple build. And for the shooting glasses, that comes from G.I. Joe Classified Series leather neck. And let's take a look at the rifle. G.I. Joe Classified Series. So we just placed a suppressor. So this is a non-specific piece, a cylinder, anything that would resemble something like a suppressor. So that's it, nothing specific. So just take a look at your accessories bin and take out your drill and drill a hole on the underside and fit it on top of the birdcage flash suppressor of this rifle. There you go. And instead of a magnified optic, I made it into a low power variable optic, or LPVO, something like a 1x4x24. So instead of a 9 power or 10 power long range scope for sniping, so we converted it into an LPVO. Okay, so we also changed the magazine. So that is not the magazine, the original magazine of this rifle. So we changed that too. So something that's going to complement the upper receiver of the rifle, which is green. Actually, the shade of green is the same. Okay, so it's just going to be that very simple for this build to create another fast attack or quick attack action figure or commando. So if you like this review, like, comment, and subscribe to help me grow my channel, and see you on the next action figure or custom action figure review.